Welcome back, gods and goddesses, to the Gifted Goddess channel where I channel my gifts for the collective advancement. And I always encourage you to seek your gifts, your purpose, so that you may use them for not only your advancement, but for that of the collective as well. So let's get straight into it. I'm going to start with numbers for confirmation. Let's get this out the way. I've been seeing 412, so that could be an area code. That could be a birthday, 412. So Aries energy, I see 107, 1225, so Christmas. I heard Christmas in July, but we're past July. I'm recording this October 19th. So regardless when you see this message, it is meant for you and it will find you in divine timing. Just trust and know that. I've been seeing a lot of 323, 321. So something is definitely like there's a countdown here and it's going down. And then mirroring numbers like 1001, 1001. So you and another person could be mirroring each other's energy. Or another thing I'm getting is you could be mirroring the energy of the collective. So you can be seeing 4122, and these numbers could be addresses, phone numbers, area codes, birthdays, just confirmation numbers that you see frequently. I know there's a certain select few numbers that I see all the time. So then when messages come through or I see a message from someone else, I kind of know that's my message because it's like that's my number, if you get what I'm saying. Of course, we have the wonderful 333. You could be a master teacher, 33, 34, significant. You could be in your 30s, 33, 34. 123, 222, 304 is definitely significant. I almost see that every day, multiple times a day. So again, that could be a confirmation number for you. I'm getting said that's someone's area code. So 4488. Maybe 304 is in your zip code. Maybe that's something to do with where you live, something significant about that. Could be a birthday, so March 4th for someone, but I always get that number coming through. So the first thing I got is, it's kind of out of order. I'm being guided to go out of order in how I wrote it. So that could be significant for you. Perhaps you feel out of order or you feel sluggish. I know for myself, I've been feeling kind of sluggish. I went from having some like insomnia symptoms to kind of sleeping more. So that could be significant. You could be experiencing all type of ascension symptoms, headaches, body aches, whether you have insomnia or you're feeling really sluggish and sleepy. Some of these can be attributed to ascension symptoms, feeling called to change your diet or eat less. Yeah, so any ascension symptoms could be affecting you right now. So Buc-ee's or Busey's is significant. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's like a convenience store. I don't have that in my area, but that's significant for someone. I have Brooklyn, Boston, Illinois, St. Louis, Milwaukee. I'm here in Florida. I think 304. Isn't Florida 304? I don't know, but that's significant. Those places are significant. You could be from there, planning to go there. I'm hearing trips, so that could be significant. Do remember it is hurricane season while you're planning these trips. just be mindful of that. That's just something that came through. I don't even have written down. Jamaica is significant. A lot of Jamaican energy. I got coconuts, Jamaica. So you can be in Jamaica if you are. Wagwan. I love the culture and everything like that. I have extended family who are Jamaican. I have a child who's part Jamaican, so definitely resonate with that energy. Something about tree is significant, but we'll get to that. That was just confirmation for me that we're talking about something with Jamaica or someone from the islands where you might speak patois. I hope I pronounced that correctly, but definitely welcome. And if you're new here, thanks for coming. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. If you are returning, thank you for returning. And again, remember to like, share, or subscribe so we can get more of the collective in this energy to kind of upgrade right through our downloads, as we like to say. So pineapples was coming through very significantly, and I channeled this message a few days ago. So that could be significant. I'm getting the 15th through the 19th. Could have been I'm hearing like a rough patch. A lot of emotional purging could be taking place. Have pregnancy, so you could feel pregnant or you are pregnant. You might be pregnant with an actual child or just with a plethora of ideas that you are to birth into the world, right? And sometimes we can feel overwhelmed with the things that we know we have to do. I know I'm definitely in that energy. I have the largest list of things that I need to do as far as, personally in my personal life, work related stuff, writing, whatever have you. You might be a writer. I don't know why I was just called to say that. Or just having a lot to do with work, right? Feeling bogged down by work. Just take it a step at a time. That's something I'm trying to remember and know that, and at the end of the day, we are basically stewards of the Most High's plan, right? So try to keep that in mind when you're feeling these different energies that, these jobs, wherever we're finding ourselves in, whether it's a 9 to 5, whether it's entrepreneurship, whatever have you, it's part of a bigger plan. And we are basically entrusted to these assigned duties, if you will, right? With the Most High as the CEO, supervisor. So think of it that way, and try to remain positive. And what do they say? There's only one way to eat an elephant, one bite at a time. So remember that. Pineapples came through, like I said. So the Kevin Hart safe word joke came to mind. So that was an actual joke. I don't know, somebody could be pregnant because of, some pineapples. Or maybe you should eat pineapples. You know what they say about that. And you are what you eat. And we'll just leave it at that. But something about that's significant. Perhaps you like Kevin Hart. Perhaps you just watched that stand up that he did, because that was some years ago. I'm not sure what year that was. Should have looked it up, but you could have just watched that. Social security is significant, and I'm getting secured, like not social security as in like the pension checks, but social security as in you might need security socially, or you might need to put up boundaries socially. Yes, my neighbor's building a fence. Heavy on the boundaries because this fence building is driving me up a wall. You might experience that too when trying to get work done, just a lot of noise campaigns going on. I know there's times where I'm trying to record and out of nowhere, my children decide to blast music at 3 a.m. Or it's 10 a.m. and I'm thinking I can get a jump on things, and the neighbor is loudly drilling and building a fence for, it seems, 90 days and 90 nights. So that could be significant. Just take it one day at a time. And sometimes you have to recognize when it isn't proper timing, right? So timing is definitely divine, and you will get to what you're supposed to in due time, the correct time. Something about pregnancy, due times, all that significant. Perhaps it's you're birthing said thing into existence, right? Whether it's the actual child or the project. Like I said, I got ATL came through, so you could be in Atlanta. I'm seeing black trucks in Atlanta, Houston. Something about that is significant. Perhaps you're seeing black trucks in these places. I'm not getting governmental. Sorry. It's like it's channeling was coming through as I was saying that. It's like security. This has something to do with security, like a secure. You will need security. So wherever you're going or wherever you're doing, somebody's going to require security. Jamaica, coconuts can be significant. Drinking coconuts on the beach, coconut drinks, coconut flavored things. That could be something significant for you. Coconut oils. Perhaps you use that in your hair. Perhaps you use that for oil pulling. There's a lot of benefits to coconut oil. So if you're guided to, look them up and see what kind of medicinal purposes it might have for you. Sierra Leone came through, which is random. But if you're watching and tuning in from Sierra Leone, welcome. Thank you. And freedom from truth came through. So you will get freedom from being honest and truthful, from living in truth, from speaking truth. And that is one of the things I strive for on this channel, is living in truth, living in your abundance, right? And how you get to that is radical truth. You have to sever yourself from all the illusions of what you've been taught, right? We need to unlearn and relearn ourselves. That's how you get to that God or goddess within, right? So that's our whole mission here, to ascend to our destination of destiny. You have to get to the God or goddess within, right? I'll explain more on that another day, another time. But if you know, you know, right? We are done with seeking external validation. You're done living your life on autopilot. If you're here, you're ready to take charge, to find that God or goddess within. That's why I named the channel the way that I did, because it is a reminder daily whenever you're tuning in that you too have a God or goddess within, right? If we are now religious people, don't let me lose you here, because you know, what scripture is it that we are created in his image, right? Therefore, we are gods and goddesses. I'm seeing 333 on the timer as I say that, my clock. So definitely significant. Somebody needs to hear that. It's not a blasphemous thing to think or say, right? Because just like if you're a parent, okay, so I'm being called to break down this analogy. If you're a parent and you have children, part of your DNA is in your child. Your child is part of you, right? So they have half your DNA, half mom's DNA, or other parents' DNA. So I'm definitely talking to males because I don't know why that came out like that. So with that being said, heavy 333. With that being said, if the Most High created us, then his essence of we're half him, right? So we do have God or goddess within, right? And this is what, you know, we're not taught. We'll get into that in a whole nother message. Probably in my gifted classes. I'm going to be doing a series on gifted classes. Right now, I'm deciding which ones will be under like a membership tab, because definitely quality information, and definitely need to know, and just it kind of I'm getting the biblical story. We're getting real biblical today for some reason. It is Sunday. So why not? Even though, okay, I won't get into that. I was going to say, even though that ain't the real Sabbath, but we'll get into that another day. I'm seeing the wheat separated from the shaft. So that story could be significant. Maybe you need to realize that you are the wheat that needs to be separated from the shaft. You need to separate yourself from the things that tie you down, right? From the things that are not growing. Okay, so I heard someone else explain this story, and one of those things bows. I think it's the wheat, it kind of bows in the wind, right? And he was saying basically he attributed that to those who bow to the Most High, those who are humble, those who are, what is the word that I'm looking for? Those who submit, to the Most High, to His plan, right? There's another word, it'll probably come up later. I cannot think of it for the life of me. Imagine me not having words, right? That's literally my one job. So, but yes, you basically bowing to His plan, right? It's an S word. Why can't I think of it? I'm hearing subjugated. I'm hearing all kind of words that I know that's not it. So that could be significant for someone. But you basically agreed to be a servant of the Most High. You have agreed to take the call, right? So here we are, all together. When that word comes out, I'm going to be so happy. You can feel at a loss for words. Something can make you feel at a loss for words. Oh my God. When I said that, I got proposal and diamond right after that. That's what I have written down. So a proposal with a diamond can make you feel at a loss for words. Perhaps that's why Sierra Leone came through diamonds. So yeah, hopefully we are getting diamonds from a better way, and not like the blood diamonds we saw in the movies. I didn't watch the movie, but you can kind of infer what's going on, right? So that could be significant, but you will be at a loss for word with a proposal, whether it's, I'm getting stopped dead in my tracks. It's a diamond proposal. I was about to say whether it's work related or something that I got stopped dead in my tracks. It is a actual proposal. So congratulations in advance. I got you're no longer easy to tap or tap into, so you could be celibate. For those of you that know that's kind of slang. Or you can't be tapped into. So whether that's spiritually, physically, right, you're not easy to tap into anymore. You've become exceptional. You're recognized as exceptional and unusual. Recognition has been coming up so much. Recognition. So you will be recognized for your exceptional, unusual, special, powerful mind. So, like I said, if you're here, my collective is definitely the bunch who values knowledge and information, right? That's why we're here, because I'm a reflection of you, you're a reflection of me, right? A lot of studying, a lot of knowledge, and a lot of information, and we understand that always the student, sometimes the teacher, right? So that could be significant, but you will gain recognition for your powerful mind. And then that tree came through. I was trying to write something else. Like, the spirit is funny in that way. I was actually writing something else that I had saw and took notice to, but it made me made me write tree. That is definitely significant. Your name could be Kat, shorts for Catherine or Katie, or people just call you Kat. Cece, also, you have an ancestor named Cece, a loved one who passed on named Cece. We have a ancestor named Cece, is what I'm getting. So that could be a common denominator, is what I just heard. Yikes. Maybe you like math. I don't. I'll be the first one to tell you I prefer English over math. So that could be significant. Group consciousness came through. So perhaps just, us gathering here, with the intention of heightened consciousness, could be significant, or definitely is significant, because here we are. We're reminded to give thanks for the harvest. So I was guided to look at Deuteronomy 26:11, and it was basically giving thanks for the harvest. And goodness grief, we were just talking about harvesting the wheat from the chaff, and I didn't even have that written down. Look at how spirit works. So another thing I reflected on, and this is something I wanted to call to people's attention. Deuteronomy is 26:11, right? And if we're giving thanks for a harvest, typically that's Thanksgiving, right? It's harvest time, giving thanks for food, right? Thanksgiving. Well, it got me thinking, when is Thanksgiving? Typically around November 26th, 27th, something in that area. So recognize when you might be being called to a scripture. So that's something I've noticed with my energy, is that, sometimes when I see numbers, I'm called to look up the angel number. But if I keep seeing it over and over, it's telling me, now I'm getting clarification about that 304. It's telling me that perhaps look at a scripture, right? It pertains to something else, and it all will kind of correlate. So just look how that came full circle. We talked about the wheat, the chaff. I forgot all about this Thanksgiving and the harvest. But if you're seeing numbers and you're a religious person who reads the Bible in text, right? Or I don't know if other texts have numbers. I'm getting yes, they do. Okay, so if you keep seeing a number, perhaps look at your religious text and see what that number correlates to in religion, right? Because it'll take us full circle as we see. Okay. Dreams coming true, double. I got 2x and seeing double. You could wear 2x or you're seeing double, but you will see a harvest double. I'm hearing double for your trouble. I'm seeing double twice. So, it could be way more than expected, way more than you anticipated, right? I have a Bible app that I subscribe to. Apps are significant. I keep seeing apps. Ads and apps are significant. So pay attention to the ads that pop up for you, for the apps that pop up for you as suggestions. That is significant. But one of them was basically tying this all in. I forgot where I was going with that. That's funny. But maybe I was just supposed to say that. Dragons or Dragon Ball Z can be significant. You have an unexplainable connection to dragons. That's significant for someone, like you just love dragons. There's a reason you're drawn to everything that you're drawn to, right? Whether it's teddy bears, lions, dragons. I got foxes, elephants, Ganesha was significant. I was supposed to read that live, but basically Ganesha, who is a male, or Ganesh, is the god of success, right? I believe that's in Hindu. God of success, removal of obstacles, like of all good things, right? So this just ties in with the seeing double for your trouble, getting your harvest, reaping your harvest, and removing the obstacles that you are to harvest, right? So if we're talking about removing the wheat from the chaff, right, you have to remove the things from around you, people, places, and things that do not align with your success, your ascension, your destiny, all those beautiful things align with the God or goddess within that you are seeking. So, are we on a sermon today? Good God. And I'll save that for another episode, because I don't want this one to be too long. I often go a little longer than intended. The dogs can be significant. Tired dogs, again, you can feel tired as a dog, baby. Or the dogs, you have tired dogs, you have dogs, you walk dogs. Perhaps you're walking a dog right now listening to this. The dog that I saw when I was channeling this that was tired and out of breath and was a bulldog. You can have a bulldog, I mean, like French bulldog. That was something for myself. So, sorry. Live channeling is funny. Yeah, just remove the people, places, and things out of your life or out of your energy, right? Because you might be in an environment. This is what I'm being guided to share, to where you're sharing an environment with a person and you just have to remove your energy. Like maybe you can't physically leave the physical domain, is what I'm hearing. Yikes. But you can remove your energy the best way that you can. Remember to call back your energy. I saw black obsidian today before I got on here to channel this really beautiful jewelry that had black obsidian on it, like beautiful rings and necklaces and things, like not the typical stuff you see in the spiritual community where it's I don't want to say like handmade stuff. This was like real, like jewelry, like fine jewelry. So you can need obsidian. You should, or perhaps you're looking into getting some obsidian for protection, but by all means protect your energy, right? Because while you're ascending, I'm hearing the shafts will try to push down. So Spanish speaking people is significant. And perhaps you can be around Spanish speaking people. Perhaps you can be, you're around Spanish speaking people. Perhaps you need to learn a little Spanish, right? Why not? America's the only country where we only speak English. Like other countries speak a multitude of languages. Like people from other countries speak like a minimum of like 3 languages. It's crazy. Like I know so many people who speak like 5 languages. I myself am being called to learn more languages. If you've been here, I speak a little Spanish when I'm guided to, right? And I was studying French last night. So, don't be afraid to broaden your horizons. I was hearing delve deeper. Delve on could be significant. Empty cups, replenish yourself first. So if you're feeling empty, replenish yourself. Like I said, I was feeling drained and things like that. I did want to come on and give this message, but after that, I'm going to replenish myself, probably do a pedicure, all the things, right? So replenish yourself. College students are significant. And then since you got your degrees and know everything, so the movie Precious can be significant. I'm getting a mother figure heavy. The mother figure. If you haven't watched the movie Precious, is that what it's called? Yeah. With Gabri. is her name Gabrielle or Gabby Thibodeau or something. I forget her name, but Monique is in it. I've been getting a lot of channeling from Monique and the movie she's in. Something about that is significant, or this type of diabolical ass mother is significant. If you have a mother like this, I do apologize. Definitely, you want to. I'm hearing like clean those wounds. I think it's raining now. Yeah, you need to cleanse your energy from this mother, energy, from I'm hearing shadows placed upon you in childhood. So cleanse that off. You do the shadow work. I do have a heart work journal that I am going to have to plug here so you guys can do the heart work. I know a lot of people focus on shadow work, but in my healing journal, what I learned very quickly is you can't do anything with a blocked heart chakra. And that can be significant for someone here. Perhaps you don't even know your heart is blocked, right? I didn't. So we'll get more into that when, we're called to. A collage of pictures came through. Somebody feels like they know everything. I'm really looking at this, know everything. Somebody feels like they know everything. I'm getting a Capricorn. So, yeah, just disconnect your energy. And if they think they know it all, hell, let them have it. What can you do? If you can't understand that you're always a student, sometimes a teacher, there's nothing anyone can say to you anyway. So just be mindful of that. Don't pour your energy into that. Okay, pull your energy back from people who think and talk and speak like that. Collage of pictures. So you should have a collage of pictures. You're working on a collage of pictures, but what I got from that is you know everything, but you couldn't picture or piece together this outcome. So something's going on, honey, because then it went to, if you chose sides based on a storyline, basically a lie, stay over there when the plot twists. So somebody thought they knew it all. However, there's going to be a different outcome. And there's people, family is significant, mothers are significant, who chose sides based on lies. But the plot is finna twist, and then everybody's going to be standing there looking stupid, is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a bunch of faces aghast, right? I can think of aghast, but I can't think of the damn word that I was looking for earlier still. You are clairaudient. So if you're hearing this, perhaps you have the gift of clairaudience, or what is that? You can be a clear empath where you feel emotions, but you can hear the intentions. You can hear what they're not saying. I'm getting that's a part of clairaudience, hearing what's not there to hear, right? Or you can hear deeper into, you can hear in between the lines. Like they're saying one thing, but the intention is different. You can hear what they're not saying. Unexpected outcomes for all involved because you sense intent. So I'm just getting, you're going to reap your harvest using your gifts. Use your gifts wisely. Degrees are significant. I got advanced degrees. So you're ascending. You're experiencing those ascension symptoms. You are ascending yet again. I hate to be the one to tell you. Ascension, as we would like it to be a beautiful thing, us getting closer to the Most High and the God or Goddess within, you would think it would be this beautiful rainbow and butterfly journey. However, it is not. It's a lot of purging of difficult emotions, and just get it out, cry it out if you have to, take a hot shower, rinse, cleanse your energy, do it all again, because you are definitely on the path to your personal greatness is what I'm hearing. So just keep that destination of destiny in mind, of having it all, of achieving all that you want to achieve in life, and advance forward. Advanced degrees can be significant. Perhaps you're thinking about getting more degrees. But I'm just getting ascension. This will restore balance. So this harvest you are going to reap restores balance because clearly something was out of whack. You were being taken for granted with that empty cup. A lot of people probably depleted your energy. So this replenishment, this harvest will balance everything out. You're ready for higher levels. So I got master's degree. So someone could be going for a master's degree or thinking about it. Certainly not me, so that has to be someone in the collective. But if you are, congratulations to you, and keep pushing forward. And just keep in mind that, if you're here, I'm going to drill it 1,000 times and seek purpose, not a paycheck and pension, right? So seek degrees and higher levels and things that you are actually called to do and you feel are a part of your purpose, because you will be blessed abundantly. Just doing something because it reaps a high salary isn't necessarily the way to go. That's just my humble opinion. I'm throwing things out there. Catch what you can. I got Nas Ether. So if you know, Nas and Jay-Z were in a beef some years ago. I want to say early 2000s. That's definitely significant. And Nas is a Virgo. He was, in a rap kind of tension beef, if you will, with Jay-Z, who's a fire sign of Sagittarius. That could be significant. So we got Capricorn, Aquarius, fire signs, Virgo, and water signs. All that could be significant. Definitely with the rain coming through here. In the Ether song, if you haven't heard it, you should probably look it up. I am confident that if you're here, you definitely must like hip hop because it comes up a lot. But in the song, Nas says, he keeps repeating like in the background, I will not lose, like the whole song. Like, if you know, it was a powerful time in hip hop because we'll get to it. So then he says, I prove you lost already. He says, I prove you lost already. And he said, AIDS test, what's the result? So from that, I got, you defeated the goat. That could be a Capricorn because Capricorns are goats. So if you defeated the goat, what does that make you? So he was going against Jay-Z, who was quote unquote the GOAT or the greatest of all time in rap. And he like verbally annihilated him, right? And, if you know Virgos, like, please, we're quiet. Please don't get us to talking, appreciate our silence. Cause like, we are not the person to get into a verbal sparring with because our vernacular is just a match. But specifically for you, you've defeated the greatest of all time in your energy, right? The greatest. I'm hearing the greatest of the worst. I'm hearing the greatest of the karmics, the greatest of the narcs is what's coming through. So what does that make you? Remember that. So when you're down and out, you're feeling under the weather and defeated, just remember you've defeated the greatest. So what does that make you? Right? Sounds like you're reaching that God or goddess within. And don't be empowered by that term, right? Like, be empowered. Don't feel it's blasphemous. Don't feel I'm here. Like, don't feel convicted by it. Don't feel weird about it. You're supposed to ascend to this. This is what the ancients knew, right? If you haven't subscribed to my other channel, Truth Be Told Podcast 33, I talk all about ascension and the ancients, Egyptians and, secret cults and societies who understand this. And while they get you to believe that's blasphemous, you're sitting here playing it small when you could be big. Anyway, let's go on. So like I said, Capricorn or other earth sign could be significant. You could be a Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus, right? But a Capricorn or other earth sign is getting news about their health, and news was significant. I got viral news. Something is viral. That's what brought me back to that AIDS test. What's the result? He said that in the song. So something is viral. So something said will go viral, something you did will go viral, both viral for different reasons. So I'm getting like the meek shall inherit the earth, as above, so below, the first shall be last. So you'll be going viral for a good reason, and they'll be going viral for a bad reason or have a viral thing going on. So we don't wish that on anybody, but that's the energy that came out. And definitely confirmed by that song, because I had the first 2 lines written, and then it made me go back. Spirit made me go back and say, no, it said AIDS test. What's the result? So just be careful. Perhaps you're being called to be celibate. That's all I'm going to say. So heavy emotions will be experienced, right? So while you are ascending, and you will have heavy emotions with, probably growth or this viral energy, somebody else is going to be in heavy energy, because I'm getting they try to spite you, and they're going to end up in a viral situation of their own. So that is all for the message. I thank you again for tuning in. The birthday 8/15 could be significant. I thank you guys for tuning in. April 1st could be significant. So happy fire sign energy. That's Leo and Aries. Thank you for tuning in. As always, come and go in love and light. Remember to protect your energy, protect your body, your mind, your space. And if you haven't done so already, like, share, and subscribe so we can have more of the collective tune in. I want to keep you uploaded with the latest downloads. So until next time, peace.